I didn't film it, but I made a template for the glass. And I've just been to get the glass and I think it's in one piece. See if it fits. Right, I don't remember why I got up to yesterday. But door went in temporarily. Still have to chop the hinges in. But it shuts something like, need to wriggle it a bit. Just cutting the beading for glass. Got that this morning. And these beadings around here, I'm not even attempting to scribe them in. Simply can't be arsed. Just going to fill that little bit, paint it. It'll look like the rest of the paintwork. Same down here. If I was to scribe it, I'd have to bisect that angle, then cut like a long mitre, then cut it back and scribe it round. I can't be arsed. This is what I did yesterday. Just fill it up, sand it back, paint it. So glass is going in. Silicone, I'm going to pin it in by hand. So I've got my pin punch out. Don't like using nail gun around glass, it's just not worth it. Right, that's just dry fit in there. I gave it 5mm and it's just a fraction low here. So what I'm going to do is just cut a couple of little wooden packers and just sit under there. Get everything ready so when you come up, put the glass in, it's all there. It's a bit like gluing up. This is laminated glass, you see where it's stuck together. Could have got toughened, but if toughened breaks, it breaks and then whoever, you know, has broke it falls through. This will break but it'll stay in one piece. It will leave like little shards that might cut you, but at least you don't fall through it. This is what I wanted, this is what the glass people recommended, so that's what I've got. There'll be a kite mark on it somewhere. You know, a little stamp. So I've got two of the tiniest little thin beads. Just put a bit of silicone on them so they don't move. Sit that one there. Sit that one there. And this is just clear silicone. Glass went in, you can just see the silicone sticking out. Couldn't film it. This one is a fraction longer than you think it needs, but I sprung it in, but that'll pin back. If I decide that these are not back properly, I can put a block in the corner here, block of wood. I ain't got one. Block of wood and just lots of little taps and the silicone will creep out. But that's okay at the moment. So's the bottom one. And this one just sits on. Remember what I was saying about pointing your finger down the drill? Works with your hammer sometimes as well. this one, I put the bottom one in first because of the way it's shaped. As you pin it in, hopefully it'll sort of push that in and up, you know, push it up there. If you start at the top, you might find that this leg is, you know, a fraction out, and then when you pin it, it just won't go back. It should be right in the first place though. Right, so that one's in. I'll punch these in a little while. When I've done this one and this one, I've labelled them. When I take them off, sometimes I put left pieces there, right pieces there, but these are just going to go on the floor, so left, bottom. I haven't put marks on these because that's top and right. And just before I put gloss in, just check that there's no debris, make sure it's all clear. I'll try it in dry anyway, but I've got a screw that sticks up a little bit here. Metal and glass don't go together, so just have to watch that one. I'll stand it in, make sure it fits okay. Alright, that fits spot on. When you measure for glass, just allow 5mm. I could put some little packers underneath, but I'm not gonna. So, small ones in first, and then spring the big ones in. I'll have to just bend that a little bit. I do it with 2 hands. I just have to bend it a little bit and spring it in. Alright, so that's in. The silicone, I normally like it to squeeze out enough so that there's a continuous bead sticking out. Let it dry, cut it with a knife, and it just peels off like a rubber band. But this stuff seems really thick. Didn't think it'd be that hard in, you know, in this weather. It's the only one that the glazers sell. Right, I nailed it with 1.5" ovals. And I'm using my hammer, my framing hammer. It's 24 ounce this. You could use a pin nailer. You could use a pin hammer. I've got one somewhere. I think it's in my welding bucket. Never use it for these. And you see, where is it? Here. I was going to put the nail in there, but then I'd hit that knot and it'd start becoming hard work to put it in. That's what happens when you nail gun hit that, nail goes that way or that way, breaks your glass. Anyway, I'll punch these in. So I'm just punching these in, and you see how I've left them proud. That way I don't bruise the wood with my hammer. I can just drive them in with my pin punch. Buy a decent one. I've had this a long time, but I don't know whether my camera will show it. Should do. But there should be like a little dimple on the end. That helps you stay on the nail head. I can't show you because I can't set the camera up anywhere, but I hold my pin punch like that. Helps you guide it. Don't try doing this because you'll just be all over the place. Hold it between your fingers like that and hit it. See these mites now? There's only a little crack. Bit of filler, smidget in there, bit in the corner. Look like it's been there forever. Or a cowboy did it, one or the other. I'm just putting this top bead on for the door. And before I put that pin in completely, I left it proud like that one. So if it's not quite in the right place, I can get my hammer on it and pull it out. But it's good as that, so I'll just hammer that in. Get another one in here. And I've got to work out what I'm going to do there. Quite simple really. That's where my door comes to. So I'm just going to notch a little bit out of one or the other. Probably out of that laziness there. See, hardly have to take anything off at all, just that little bit. Keep sharpening my chisel, the paint and this shitty wood knacks them up. So, just that little bit, like that. Get that pinned on. What I'm going to do is just a pin, top, middle, bottom, shut the door, see how it looks, then I'll pin it properly. Now, like I was saying, left my pin sticking out. Didn't put one in the top, just so I can pull them if I need to. And that's flush. Bit of spring in the door. Be right. And if you hit the nail at the right speed, right pressure, you can sink it without leaving a mark on the face. I prefer to punch them, stuff like this. When you're doing flooring, you can whack it in, send it in without leaving half moons everywhere. So I haven't punched them yet, but I will. But the flush, knock that one in. Alright, no cracks in there, that's good. What I did was put a couple of packers in here, but it don't look like that's moved. That's good. Put a couple of packers in there, just to close that gap up a little bit. So that pulled that over there, so I could plane this edge a bit. Door's got a bit of a dip in the middle, but I don't care. That fits quite well. So I get a handle on. Couldn't find the exact same ones as these. Didn't spend much time shopping there. So £6 knobs. Slightly different colour, slightly different shape. That'll do for now. That one's there, that one's in the middle. Different doors. Don't know. Don't know where to put it. sprocket. Might leave it till tomorrow. Have a look. Right, like I did there. Get some filler on these bits. I'm going to find a bit of fat quadrant or something to go underneath there. And on the top of here, I need to fill this gap up a little bit. Down a bit because I wanted it to be something like straight through there. Don't know. Let's see what's in van. Runs out slightly. And I said I'd fill these hinge holes up. That one I practically planed off, so I'm going to ignore that. And I was going to fill these, but I think when you stand back, a bit of wood in there and make it just stand out. I think I'll leave that one. But rather than using a piece of white pine, I've just planed the surface off one of the spindles that came out of there. I think it's a better match. Oh, it's a bit darker anyway, let's put it that way. So I'll cut a little piece to go in there. Glue and pin that in. I don't have a table saw. Got jigsaw, I could use that. I'm just using mitre saw. But I always hold my hand right back here in case the blade bites. And try and cut your pieces, you know, on the end of a long piece like this, so you can get hold of it. Your fingers out down here next to the blade. So now all I've got to do is just cut that piece off the end there. Do like that. Now I've got that little piece. It's tempting, you know, just to cut a piece to the right length, but then you know, like this, if you're trying to hold it like that and it's not sitting right, and then you've got to turn it over and trim it down again to get to that. So just cut it on the end of a piece of wood and then whip it off. And these, you could mitre them back and mitre this, you know, 45 this, and slide it in like a wedge and it'll hold better. I'm not gonna, just gonna give that a tap with hammer and glue it in. I got lucky with that one, no pins needed. I can plane it off without worrying about hitting a pin. Now, like I say, I'm going to wait for her to decide on handles. So they're all a bit different. Put the handrail on. Don't know about that. I did see some that were lower profile. This was a bit shorter. And 900 front nosing. Looks a bit high because of the kite winder, but when you stood here, for me anyway, it's about right. I haven't sanded it off because I don't know if it's staying. Might end up just maybe making some little brackets. Don't know. We'll see. I'll plane that off tomorrow. Give it all a sand. Bit close to the edge there. So just got to do a bit of chopping in on that. So the first thing I've done is chopped in at the bottom, then chopped in at the top, full depth. Now because I've created a hole basically, when I start chiseling in the side here, I'll probably go in the bottom there, the same in the top there, on both sides. But because I've done that, because I've created that hole, those bits will break in and I've got less chance of, you know, splitting the door or coming the outside. But I'll work my way down there now. And to cut this out, it helps if you've got a nice sharp chisel. Just sharpen this. And a little slip. Oops. Well, crappy blue plaster on that. I've got a first aid box in the van, there's some cloth ones, but I think they're at home. Not the first time, won't be the last time. You only cut yourself with sharp tools. Right, so that's that. Like before, you got these little dimples. So, should really do it with two hands, but I'm holding camera with one. But I'll hit that. And hit that. And I'll just run chisel over that, just take those little pieces out. So I'll whip them 2 bits out. So now that should fit better. And there's no wood down either side, so I don't expect there to be, you know, like a little slip of wood. I managed to save a bit of wood on the outside, so you won't see it so much when you close it. That'll fit in there. Crappy plaster kept falling off. So I'll mark this. It's my square. So set my square to that distance, centre it all, and I'll use that then to transfer the lines over there. Instead of trying to find the centre like that, I'll sit this in backwards like that, and I can go off the centre mark there. So, got that now. And drill a hole. And what we'll try to do is one hole at the top and 2 at the bottom, like that. And what I advise my customers to buy is ones with springs. The spring in this isn't strong enough. What you'll find is you open the door and it won't, you know, it won't return. So if you can buy handles with springs in. See if I can get this one on. No, there we go. I'll do. So I'll screw that on, fit the catch. Whoever designed these handles wants shooting, or made to fit one or the other. Latch went in. Tried cutting the paintwork, but it just fell off. It's not too bad. So it's been painted a few times. Clean that bit off. I'm going to put a bit of paint on. I need to get my ladders so that I can reach that silicone up there. Oh, well, that's me done. Just giving it a coat of undercoat, single coat. So it might as well be alright. A couple of coats of paint, that'll be fine. That's smooth. One colour, but it's smooth.